teaching Uncle Tom's children. He was the only other honky in the room, but wasn't. Blonde, natural. Was his mother or his dad white or black? Kid played the best sax in town at only 14. Sax so sweet and cool the moon rose cream over the hills and stars broke the fog. He didn't talk much. Neither did I, that first blacklit class any of us taught. I didn't know what to put on the board. Erased everything I'd written before, but the erasers were full of dust from the chalk. The blackboard turned powdery, a blur, clouded. We moved on through nigger, black boy, native son. Not a kid caused trouble. Small sounds, fingers flipping the white pages of the paperbacks I collected and stacked in the corner cupboard after class. Slap of gum stretching in and out of a mouth, hard sole of a shoe on the floor, scraping the surface, an emery board. And the train, track barely a block away, the train running the whole length of the San Francisco Bay, cry moving ahead of it, toward us, that wail. What you got? What you got? The way they brushed my seat when I walked down the hall for a drink of water between classes. The little folds of the skirt, the red one, knit, so it kind of clung and then swept around me when I walked. I knew how I looked. Once one of the big black girls hollered at me as I was coming back from lunch, striding out from between the cafeteria and my building, hollered out so anybody could hear, "Why you wear your skirt so short? You already got a man." So loud it rang and rang even after the bell. 7 classes a day, 2 remedial, 163 students, 4 preparations, one of them poetry of pop music. At home, the guy who lived downstairs slammed open the door, clomped across the wood floor in his nailed boots at 3 a.m. before he'd play his Chinese funeral horn. I was learning to serve in tennis. One of the PE teachers was helping. I'd bought a white tennis dress, its own panties sewn in. I could lift up, bend down as far as I needed whenever the next ball came. When I got home, my husband was inside the headphones. Sometimes he came out to refill his glass, and sometimes he stayed inside for a long time. After school, I'm reading the non-G-rated poems Out of Town and San Antonio. At home, I tend to read the more G-rated poems, but I figure in Chicago I can free up a bit, okay? So it's not a G-rated book, folks. After school, the way the halls loosened, softened. You couldn't call what the coaches did walking. Even the metal lockers seemed to move. Those jogging suits with zippers down their chests and straight up the sides of their calves. Colors of candy, lollipops, suckers, lime, cherry, orange. Didn't make a sound with their feet, the way they walked as if they were running, but in slow motion. All the parts of their bodies moving together. You new here? Where are you from? What do you teach? Voices like insides of M&Ms. Halls cleared of kids, they moved through like syrup through a snow cone. 7 periods of trying to keep 9th graders from shrieking, tearing at each other. Somebody thrown into a locker. Pepsi and sudden ice over the floor, slippery. All day I'd picked up trash, books, ragged spiral papers. The tallest coach would